right, this is Knives. I'm sitting here with Josh, the guitarist from Cattle Decapitation. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing very well, although I am very, very cold right now.
It's pretty cold out, yeah. We got.
I kind of like it because it's not. It's a nice change of pace from Southern California.
Yeah.
It's it's beautiful. Yeah, and it's the same.
It's the same every single.
Well, you know,
totally.
I don't know why I'm telling you this.
That and the traffic is part of the reason why I left. But yeah, it's been pretty chilly here the past couple of days. So I'm just going to ask you about your new album that came out in January.
Mm-hmm.
How was the reception for that album?
For the most part, very positive. Much more so than in the past. Both, from death metal fans, quote unquote, and critics, and Mom. Mom liked it a lot more than the last record, and yeah, just overall, I think we tried as much as we could to step up every aspect of the band, and I think it pretty much came across exactly how we would liked it to have. There's obviously with any creative endeavor, there's little tweaks you'd make. You can torture yourself forever about that, but yeah, I was pleased, and I'm sure everyone else is pleased, and we're just happy that people are digging it.
Sweet. Right on, yeah. I love the new album.
Thank you.
So where does the name Cattle Decapitation come from?
Long ago, when the band started in, I think, 96 or 7, there were a couple of the guys that were in the band Locust at the same time. They had a song called Cattle Mutilation, referring to, aliens coming and mutilating cattle. And they both were fans of death metal, and were kind of like, oh, let's start. And you gotta, SoCal stoner.
Yeah,
you
totally.
know how logic works. Start a rad death metal band, dude. Okay, we're gonna call it cattle. I like cows and stuff. That's cool. Big dumb plant-eating herbivores. Okay, cool. That's kind of redundant, but anyway. Yeah, okay. Decapitation, cutting off heads. Cattle decapitation, that'll work, So, we spent the past, I don't know how many years trying to, intellectualize it in some way. Mm-hmm. But considering the type of music it is, it's pretty much just it's just hit you over the head brutality, as far as, the name goes.
Yeah,
and everything,
yeah, totally.
I mean, it's pretty much, it's like, Billy Anderson, the guy that, he's done the past couple records for us, production and engineering and everything like that. In regards to that, we were kind of talking about how that name came about and everything, and he's like, well, you know what? The cool thing about that name is that people don't have to ask what type of music it is.
Totally.
It's not like there's a band called, and I'm not picking on them or whatever, but say there's a band called, I don't know, Evergrey.
Yeah.
Well, what does that mean?
Yeah, exactly.
I have nothing against them. Our drummer really likes them. I have, no problem with them. It's just like, well, is it metal? Is it... Did they sound like Breaking Benjamin? Or,
yeah, totally.
Whatever. Cattle Decapitation. Yeah, I don't think they're going to be doing any doo-wops.
Yeah, kind of like Anal Cunt or...
Yeah, exactly. Or, Torso Fuck or Prostitute Disfigurement. Yeah, what do they sound like,
Totally.
So, I guess, we can't get experimental and do any sort of, Calypso stuff, Oh, well.
Well, that was kind of one of my questions that I was going to lead into. But, I know that some of the members from the Locust...
Mm-hmm.
That were in Cattle Decapitation, I might be wrong, but they had a side project, Tristeza.
Oh, that was Jimmy Lavelle, if I'm not mistaken, who was also the guy behind Album Leaf.
Okay.
He was in Tristeza for a while, if I'm not mistaken, but he hasn't been in the Locust for a long time.
Okay, right.
He was also in that band Crimson Curse with Justin Pearson, who obviously was one of the people that is one of the people that is most readily identified with Locust.
Yeah.
It's the face behind that band for a lot of people, even though there's 4 individuals tearing it up.
Yeah, the Locusts are definitely pretty sick.
Yeah, they get because of people's perceptions from years ago,
mm-hmm.
Because they used to, before they started wearing masks and costumes, they kind of, for that style of music, popularized a certain look, and it's still seen today, its various forms.
Yeah.
Although I kind of think they got it from Chicago indie rock folks. Mm-hmm. That's where I lived for a lot of years, so I saw that every day.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, these guys from Southern California were looking like that. So there's tour, there's this little cross-pollination of styles and stuff. I'm not saying one is completely responsible, for the other, but, lots of lots of, flowing influences, I guess.
Word.
I don't even know what the heck you asked me. So.
I think I was going to talk to you about side projects that were outside of the death metal or, grindcore.
For us as a band, say, is us as a band too?
Or personally, or...
Oh, well, for Travis has a few CDs out, 2 under the name 552,000, which
okay.
is a collaboration he did with a fellow Nathan Burley.
I have a couple of CDs of that, yeah.
Yeah,
it's awesome. Instrumental.
Fiend and, what's the other one called? It's got the fire on the cover.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like a solar flare or something.
Yeah.
It's manipulated. Reflection music. Yeah. It's oh my god, it's a black guy. Oh wait, it's a bass player. So there's reflection music, and it's just ambient soundscapes. Yeah, it's like ambient soundscapes and lots of drone and music that's just, oppressive in its droniness.
Yeah.
Just not sound like a complete moron. But, it's just really heavy, but not in what anyone would consider a metal way.
Yeah, totally.
There's like on the Fiend CD, there's a recording of the black box from a flight that went out in San Diego in, I think, the early 80s, way before I was living there. And that's kind of mixed into the ambient bed, so, it's pretty heavy stuff.
Yeah.
But it's not in the, banging drums, loud guitars way.
Double bass pedal, kind of.
It's, much more sort of mentally taxing for what you read into that and how you believe it affects your life and mortality and all that, so.
Yeah, totally. So your themes are cattle decapitation themes are kind of anti-human, pro-animal, which is awesome, but kind of just maybe explain a little bit what you guys are trying to get across.
I think in the beginning, like say Human Jerky, Homivore, the first couple records, maybe parts of To Serve Man, there was a vegetarian, I don't want to say, if people perceive any sort of if they think there's some sort of agenda in anything, they automatically become defensive.
Yeah.
Which, like say with politicians, I think this guy's an agenda. Well, no shit. He's trying to get something accomplished.
Totally.
What do you fucking think? Or with bands, it's it's not that you have to be about something, you have to have some great sort of political cause or, shadow sort of purpose. But, I think at the beginning, that was a lot more of the focus. And now, especially with, Parts of Band, Human or Karma, and Harvest Floor, that stuff hasn't, I don't want to say it's not been touched upon, but it's just by far not the central theme at all. It's more just hatred of humanity and just a critique of how gross we are as humans and that we're just going to destroy one another because we have either certain appetites or certain, behaviors or certain conditioning that causes us to harm one another or ourselves in a manner that's, just purely destructive. And in addition to that, that affects, the natural world, ants. How much sleep have I had? Animals, plants, minerals, and everything else. So it's just.
Yeah, totally.
Why did I do that?
I think we'll be fine.
An auto shut off. Yeah, it's just. I think it's more. We always get tagged with those veggie fags, blah blah blah, shoving this down my throat.
Yeah.
When have we ever said anything from the stage? When have we ever shoved pamphlets in people's faces? When have we ever, confronted anyone? I mean, as of now, it's just vegetarianism is, it's kind of like, what's your favorite color?
Yeah.
Red. Oh, man, I can't stand them shoving this favorite color down my throat, It's like, who gives a shit? I mean, but at the same time, they could come back and say, well, your first couple albums had a bit of a heavy theme regarding that. So, I don't really understand, now it's like no bands can change, no one can evolve, what people...
First perception.
And whatever people perceive via the internet, which is almost, 99% of the time absolutely incorrect. Perception's reality, unfortunately, whether it's right or wrong. Yeah, we're not going to do that.